Hey everyone, so we're gonna try something different today. I'm gonna do a Let's Write, a Write with me, a write along, if you will. And no, I will not be patenting any of that because all of that was stupid. My channel has been comprised of a lot of Let's Play videos, obviously, right? But I was wondering, could I do both gaming and writing? I'm not a professional writer and I will not be giving advice like with any kind of authority. I'm just an amateur. It's amateur hour. At any rate, I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, or not see, or just have in the background as white noise. Hey everyone, post-Jan here. So I did the recording, but I didn't hit record on OBS, so nothing that I changed in my Word doc got recorded. Everything you're gonna be seeing is showing you clips of what I was talking about after the fact, but I'll also be showing you writing that I did later. So if anything, I got more writing in. So if anything, it was a good mistake. Whatever. Back to the thing. What I'm working on right now is a short story called Gambit. And this was for an assignment I had in class last semester. And this is actually part of a short story collection that I've been working on called White After, Black Before. And for the creative writing assignment, we had to create episodic short stories, I guess you could call them. But they were like in your main story. Like you had a story and then you were gonna do like, for this assignment was 7 episodes and they were to equate to your one big story. You know, like, you do those things, right? Like you have a story idea or something you've written long before and then you turn it into the same class, knowing full well that it's not a new idea, that it's something you've been working on forever. I sort of did that with this, but then I started to realize a couple of things that when you have these episodic breaks, they can work to your advantage in terms of building up suspense. And so I started to sort of play around with that. For example, in my last episode, I just wrote like a poem, right? Like a short poem here that sort of surmises the entire short story, and just had that be as like episode 7. Needless to say, it was a little much, and my professor told me as such. Like, you don't need to hash it back, whatever that we just read. One thing I really want to do with Gambit is to remove it from the episode form. Hey, so I also realized maybe I just, tell you what my story's about. You love to hear it. You don't. I'm being sarcastic. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna tell you anyway, because it's my Let's Write. It's my Write with me, okay? My story is about 3 characters, Dewa, and Ernest, and all 3 of them have experienced the death of their grandmother, and they've taken it in different ways. So they're all cousins. I wanted to sort of create the story where the death of their grandmother sort of propels them on a existential path towards something. So I don't really know what the story's about. Maybe it's just because I'm shy in front of a camera and I don't know what I'm doing. So now I'm having all these brain farts. Anyways, I'm not telling you what my story is because I don't know it myself. But when I figure it out, I'll let you know. One of the bigger issues with this too is that this story isn't completely done. So I'm editing something that I know I'll have to write in parts for, and I simply don't know where to start. Has that ever happened to you? Where you're sort of developing your story and you're just like, what am I writing? Who am I writing for? Why am I writing in the first place? I have a story to tell. Does anyone want to read it? Does anyone want to listen? I'm here to tell you folks. I am. I'll listen. I'm getting no work done, by the way. Oh god, this is harder than I thought it would be. For some reason, it works for me to write things on paper rather than just have things on a screen. I don't know why. Is it the same with you? Huh? Say something. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. But it's gonna help me figure this thing out. Here, I'll make it a point for this. This will be the goal for this video, to explain to you what my story is about. How do you write a short story and not know what it's about? To be fair, this is the genre that I was going for, is the macabre. Macabre, and like had this visual in my mind. So I wanted 3 characters, family, to have a really close relationship and to go to a casino. The sister Diwa is getting married. It's a shotgun wedding. And then she only invited 2 of her cousins because her cousins are the only people close to her. She's been like shunned by the rest of her family. So only the other 2, her 2 closest cousins are coming to, you know, be there for her wedding. And then craziness happens. A mist comes up, very Stephen King, very uninspired, I know. But there's a mist. And then there are these gargoyle creatures that sort of tear through the sky and break through the mist this cloudy day, and they start attacking people. And then these 3 cousins who have to deal with this horror also have to reckon with that a lot of what is happening is sort of this manifestation of their own fears, and a lot of unsettled and unresolved issues. Yes, I think that's my story. If that didn't make any sense to you, you're in good company. Alright, time to talk some shop. What I have gotten done is absolutely nothing. So all I did was remove the episode numbers. What I'm gonna do is I think I really enjoy how this sort of breaks up. So what I'm gonna do is just get rid of the episode numbers and just use these titles as essentially parts. Instead of saying part 1, part 2, part 3, they will simply be the title name. Hey, are you writing over there? You better be writing. This is a write with me, okay? This is a let's write. We have to write together. If I'm just writing on my end and you're not writing on your end, just chilling and vibing a lo-fi, that is your prerogative, and I really have no use for it, but I thank you for watching anyway. Okay, I'm gonna read this. Go ahead and mute for the next 2 minutes. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. It's called Serpent. Now, if you're watching the screen, you can follow along. Loathsome rainfall, torrential rain Ernest feared, would drown this mountain and bring some truth to the mudslide warning he'd seen on his drive up. Fog surrounds him. His fingers tap the steering wheel. Only now does he realize how worn and cracked the rubber on the wheel is. It's faded in places where he grips too tightly. Has it always been this way? He'd die before he buys a cover, a butler cover as he knows it. He eases his grip. The traffic slows. He peers into the car in front. Two talking heads look around, just as confused. Blue eyes glance up toward their rear view mirror. He hides his eyes away, stares outside into the dense fog. The wall of the mountain is not more than 10 feet, some 10 feet away. To his right, a deep dip off the cliff. The fog must have caused an accident ahead, he surmises. Ernest checks his phone. Clear skies. They come to a full stop. Bright, blinding floodlights shine behind him. Asshole. He thinks back when he was blind. 11 years old, stubborn, and always angry. Angry because he lived with his Uncle Manny. Manny drank too much. Drinking made Manny laugh, red-faced, clumsy. He wouldn't stop there. Further down the bottle, he'll drink to. Okay, so this is too abrupt of a turn here. What I wanted to do there was hint at something and then have a middle part that introduces a character, and then at the last bit explain to how he got into a schoolyard fight and had sand thrown in his eyes. For a couple of hours, he lost his sight, and he feared that he would lose his sight forever. But this was too much of an abrupt turn, so I'm going to have to elaborate on this part. Okay, so I'm still going to work on this transition, but I think this is better than where it was before. This paragraph will now read, traffic slows to a full stop. Bright, blinding floodlights shines behind him, blind him, infuriate him, asshole. The nerve of some folks. The bigger the truck and the bigger the ego and the hollower the person. He remembers now, all along the freeway this truck tailed him, near bumper to bumper, so close he knew a sudden break on his end would spell disaster for all those involved. Just as luck to meet them again, working himself up as useless, sitting, trapped between fog and blinding lights, his trueness is made clear, a residue of his soul shaping his now boxed state. I think it's heading down the right path, at least where I want this to go. It's kind of like massaging a certain aspect of your story writing. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you, everyone, for watching whatever this is. Hopefully you were able to get some writing done. I don't know. Maybe you weren't. Maybe I was too distracting, in which case, you're welcome. I'll do a couple more of these just to see if I like doing it, but let me know if you like watching it. If not, then I'll just record this for my own private use. No, that would be freaking weird, wouldn't it? That would be weird and troubling. But yeah, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.